Well, we're going to draw a LarryBoy today, so I'll start with his body shape. Now, he's a cucumber, but in this style, what we're going to do is have a round side and then this more straight side on the other side. So that makes for a stronger design. This line that I'm putting on is going to be where his face is going to go. We're going to put an oval kind of a shape for his nose, and then right above that, right here in the middle, if this is the middle of his body, because he's sort of going 3/4 that direction, we're going to add the eyes on top of that. And they're big kind of oval shapes too. He's got really big bright eyes, especially for this expression. On top of that is going to be his eyebrows. These are his brows up here. Then put in his pupils. That's where he starts to really start to come alive. And what's missing right underneath there is going to be a big smile. And you gotta always have his little one tooth. And then it starts really looking like Larry. So how do we make him look like LarryBoy? We start putting on his mask. Just underneath the eyes is where the mask ends. Putting on his suction cup ears. Something like that. And then another one over here. And then up here is his fin, what we call the fin. And it goes right into the back of his body here. Now it goes out, his body is thickest right in here, right where his mouth is, because that's sort of going to create a chest, like he's looking very superhero-ish. So now we're going to add his costume just underneath his face. Got kind of a thick lapel kind of area right here that tapers down into a small area that goes right into his belt buckle. That's what this round circle is. It's kind of a ovalish circle. And then the belt connects right into that. Now what's missing? On the new LarryBoy, the 2D version, he has a cape. We've added a cape to him. So I start adding a little bit of a cape. It works right out of his little lapel here. I'll even shade the inside in. Real quick. And that's pretty much LarryBoy. And I'll add a little bit of a shadow underneath him sometimes. And shade that in to really make him look like he's on the ground. So now we're going to take a look at Awful Alvin. He's a new villain to the LarryBoy universe, and he's one of our first ones. So when I started thinking about, okay, what could Awful Alvin be? In the script, he was actually going to be Awful Alvin the Artichoke. And I started thinking about, well, if I was going to design an artichoke as a villain, it'd just be one big head bouncing around. So I started thinking, well, I'd love to get something that would be tall and thin and kind of a little more creepy looking. So I made him an onion, but not just a regular big round onion. I made him a scallion. So he's got a big bulbous head shape, goes into a little scrawny neck. So I want him to be really kind of just a creepy, scrawny guy, but he's got a big brain. So he's a thinker, he's an evil genius. And he's got this big upper lip with a couple weird crooked teeth and stuff that come out. Makes him look extra creepy. He's got a big monocle on his right eye, and above that a big shaggy eyebrow. The other eyebrow is usually in a little grimace, kind of a real low, which makes this eye always look like it's kind of just peeking out at you. So we'll put in the pupils like he's looking at us. And this one over here. He's got little bags underneath his eyes because he stays up late thinking about how to defeat LarryBoy. And then we start putting on his little cape. All bad guys have got to have a little cape. His almost like a little Dracula cape almost. Now one of the things with Awful Alvin is that he actually has little arms. And what they are really are vines. They're just vines that have come off the scallion shape. And then he's got a little belt down here, and then it goes into the legs. I'll hop back up here, and this is usually what I put on last, is his little scraggly piece of hair that he has, which is really on scallions. They have these fuzzy little green piece, almost like a weed, which makes him look even creepier. So that's Awful Alvin. Alright, now let's take a look at the difference between LarryBoy and Larry. LarryBoy has more straight on one side, more curve on the other side, and that would be his general shape. Here comes Larry. He's going to have almost the opposite shape. So almost like you're taking that and flipping it upside down is how we're going to create Larry. So on both of them, if this is the middle of that, of Larry, and here's the middle of LarryBoy, we'll put the same nose on both of them, right? Kind of an oval. Now, expression-wise, LarryBoy is going to be confident. Larry isn't as confident. He's going to be a little bit more meek. So we'll put a little bit more of an expression on him. I'll just draw out real rough the eye shape. But we'll give him an expression of kind of slightly confused or kind of wondering. So big eyelids on him. He's kind of looking off this way. So we'll make him kind of like he's talking to Bob. So that's pretty much Larry the janitor. So he's a little bit slumped over, he's not as confident. So then LarryBoy, by contrast, is upright, confident the whole time. We're going to put a nice, confident, here's where I'm drawing in the eyes. Give him a nice, confident expression. And I'm just doing this rough and kind of quick, but that's a good way to figure out what you want to draw. And then you can always go back in and do a nice, clean drawing. And I'll add his fin. And there we go. And his cape. Same character, but totally different feel, and just changing the shape.